Real estate sector is in my mind. I think everybody needs to be a bit more careful in terms of spending, or as the buzzword is to be more efficient now. So we hear about more efficient government, we hear about efficient spending, about efficient investors, and basically people have to be a bit more careful in their spending habits. That will definitely have its effect on the consumers. So in the consumer market here, although it is not a big driver of the economy, but the consumers as individuals, they will feel that they have to be a bit more careful. And there's like a kind of it's more of a community rather than just a building. We live in a region which is very much dependent on oil. Now, some countries are more dependent than others. Saudi, for example, and Kuwait are one of the more totally dependent on oil, while places like the UAE has diversified a lot of its economy and revenue streams to make that dependency less, but it's still a major factor. So really we cannot talk about 2016 outlook without looking at the oil prices expectations. What's important here is that the governments, what price did they budget for? Because that is really what affects the spending and the sentiment. And I think from what we saw from the Saudi budget, I think that it's talked about in the range of 25 to 30, to be on the, let's say, more careful side. And therefore, I think those are where the budgets are going to be for most GCC economies. And that is not going to be enough to cover the governmental expenditure in those countries. And therefore, I think we will see a much more careful and efficient spending in 2016. The way governments have budgeted in 2016. The concern about the Iranian oil coming into the market and increasing the supply that we see is definitely a concern, but I also believe it's been there on the cards. Everybody's been pricing it in. I don't think it is a surprise to the market, and therefore that effect in my mind is being built in. I mean, I would be surprised if they really start to fully pump or sell into the market and we see a huge drop in oil prices. I think that has been taken into consideration. I personally believe that the oil will close the year in 2016 closer to 50 than it is to 25. Because I believe that the fluctuation oil prices, especially lately, is not the reason for which the stock markets are dropping. It is a result of the stock markets dropping. Commodities in the world have been dropping for over 3 years. Oil was lagging that for about a year and a half. It only started to go down in September 2014.